Salut les amis et bienvenue sur la chaîne Immigrer à moindre coût. Alors les amis, l'heure est grave. Nous partageons déjà l'écran avec vous. Vous voyez déjà cette information Jeune Afrique économique pour un premier temps. On va essayer de déballer et vous savez, on vous donne les informations avec des sources fiables. Donald Trump est en train de bloquer beaucoup de pays d'accès aux États-Unis. Donc, il y a 43 pays différents, répartis dans 3 catégories différentes qui ont les restrictions pour les États-Unis. Donc, il s'agit de quoi? Il s'agit donc de ces pays dont les États-Unis, pour des raisons diverses, décidé de limiter l'accès. Donc, en fonction des différents critères. Donc, les amis, la première liste, il s'agit de la liste rouge qui impose une interdiction totale de voyage. Donc, ces pays n'auront même pas du tout accès. Il s'agit de la Libye, la Somalie, le Soudan, aux côtés de 8 autres nations dont la Corée du Nord, l'Iran, la Syrie et Cuba. Donc les amis, voilà la liste rouge. Et la deuxième liste, c'est la liste orange. Donc toutes ces listes ont leur spécificité ici. Les ressortissants devraient faire face à des restrictions supplémentaires sans toutefois avoir une interdiction de voyage. Donc ici, les hommes d'affaires, ceux qui viennent pour des voyages d'affaires, ceux-là seront privilégiés et il y aura beaucoup de restrictions en ce qui concerne les ressortissants de ces différents pays. Donc il y a l'Érythrée, le Soudan du Sud, la Sierra Leone, la Biélorussie, le Pakistan et la Russie. Donc, passez la liste donc concernée par beaucoup de pays africains. Il y a 22 pays africains sur cette liste. Il s'agit de la liste jaune. Donc, figurant aux pays auxquels l'administration Trump accorde un délai de 60 jours. Donc, l'administration Donald Trump accorde 60 jours à ces pays pour se conformer aux règles préétablies. Donc, il s'agit de quoi? L'exigence parmi les conditions figurant accrue d'informations sur les voyageurs. Donc, les États-Unis aimeraient que la diplomatie de ces pays leur donne plus d'informations sur les voyageurs, sur les ressortissants qui veulent immigrer aux États-Unis. Et à l'Angola, le Bénin, le Burkina Faso, le Cameroun, le Tchad, la RDC, le Mali, la Mauritanie. Donc, vous aurez encore plus la liste dans la vidéo dont nous allons vous laisser suivre à la fin. Donc, on était juste en train de faire une introduction afin que vous sachiez de quoi il est question. Est-ce que l'immigration des Africains, qui n'est toujours pas mauvaise dans la mesure où l'Afrique aura besoin dans les 30 et 40 années prochaines d'une immigration forte, d'une diaspora forte pour pouvoir développer le continent. Et on se rend compte qu'il y a beaucoup de pays qui sont dans des restrictions. Donc, que faire dans les Africains face à ces différentes restrictions serait de se tourner vers d'autres pays ou serait d'attendre les bonnes opportunités. Donc, j'attends ton avis en commentaire. Qu'en penses-tu de ces restrictions? Beaucoup se posent la question, est-ce que ça va impacter la loterie américaine? Vous savez, la fameuse loterie américaine dont des milliers, pour ne pas dire des millions d'Africains y participent chaque année. Est-ce que ces mesures-là vont impacter la loterie américaine? Vous savez, la loterie américaine va sortir en mai et les 60 jours certainement seront déjà écoulés. Qu'est-ce qui va se passer donc si ces pays ne répondent pas à l'exigence des États-Unis? Est-ce que la loterie américaine ne sera pas prise en compte dans ces différents pays qui sont cités sur cette liste? Alors, si tu veux savoir plus, abonne-toi tout simplement sur la chaîne, tu actives la cloche et tu auras des informations step by step, minute by minute, qui te permettront non seulement de pouvoir immigrer de façon stratégique et de pouvoir t'armer et d'avoir les bonnes informations au bon moment pour pouvoir canaliser ton énergie et surtout avoir les formules qui fonctionnent. Donc, j'attends ton avis en commentaire. Qu'en penses-tu de ces mesures? Et je vous laisse suivre la vidéo complémentaire. Ciao.
In recent days, the Trump administration has been considering a significant expansion of travel restrictions which can potentially affect citizens from 40-odd countries. This move was first reported by the New York Times. It involves categorizing countries into 3 separate lists: red, orange, and yellow, each with varying levels of travel restrictions. This proposal is part of a broader immigration enforcement initiative launched by President Donald Trump at the beginning of his second term. We will try and delve into the specifics of this proposed ban, the rationale for this ban, how it aligns with Trump's anti-immigration agenda, and its implications, particularly for student visas in the context of the recent actions against students at the Columbia University in New York. The proposed travel ban divides countries into 3 categories. The first is the red list. This includes countries who face an outright ban on traveling to the United States. None of the citizens having a passport of these countries will be able to enter America. The list of banned travelers include countries like Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, and Bhutan. Now, some have expressed surprise at why Bhutan is part of this list, not having any known terrorists or any troublesome elements who have migrated to the United States in recent times and who have had to be deported because of unlawful activities there. The second category is the orange list. Now, countries on this list will face restricted travel. They will have limited entry, allowed only after in-person interviews, and only for short-term non-immigrant visas. The orange list includes countries like Russia, Pakistan, Myanmar, Belarus, Haiti, Laos, Eritrea, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan. And finally, there is what is called the yellow list. This category consists of countries who will be given a 60-day notice to address specific security concerns. If any of these countries fails to comply, then travelers from these countries risk being moved to the orange or the red lists. The yellow list includes 22 countries, most of them from Africa and the Caribbean. There are countries like Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, to the Republic of Congo, even countries like St. Lucia, Vanuatu, and Zimbabwe. The rationale behind Trump's proposed ban is to enhance national security interests by identifying and also restricting travel from countries who have deficiencies when it comes to a vetting and screening process for who can get to travel to the United States. This aligns with Trump's broader strategy, which is to protect America from what he thinks are potential threats, including terrorism and the exploitation of immigration laws. This move is part of an executive order that was signed by Trump on his very first day in office on the 20th of January, which mandated enhanced security screenings for foreigners who are seeking entry into the United States. This draft proposal, which is now doing the rounds of the media, which could become an actuality in the next few weeks, is an enhanced measure from the executive order that he signed on the first day in office. During his first term, Trump implemented a travel ban targeting 7 majority Muslim countries. They were Iraq, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. That ban in the first term faced significant legal challenges. Multiple courts turned it down. There was public backlash as well, but ultimately it was upheld by the US Supreme Court in 2018. That ban was subsequently revoked. When the next president came into office, Joe Biden, he described that travel ban as a stain on our national conscience. The proposed travel ban now is a key component of Trump's anti-immigration agenda, which he has emphasized throughout his political career, both in his first term and even more so now. Because in the second term, there seems to be a renewed urgency by Trump in cracking down on illegal immigration. Trump has appointed a new border czar in Tom Homan, who oversees the Department of Immigration, Communication and Enforcement, or ICE. In the last couple of months that Trump has been in office, ICE has overseen the deportation of thousands of illegals who entered the United States. They've been sent back either to their home countries or they've been kept in detainment facilities either in Guantanamo Bay or in Panama or in El Salvador. Trump has consistently argued that stricter immigration policies are necessary to safeguard America's national security and also to protect American jobs. This stand has been a central theme both in his campaigns when he was running for president, and also it has become a central policy initiative once he's taken office. But that's not the only thing that Trump is cracking down on. Recently, the Trump administration has taken action against students at the Columbia University who were involved in pro-Palestinian protests last year. The Department of Homeland Security has arrested and detained several students. Prominent among them are Mahmoud Khalil and Leka Cordia. The Department of Homeland Security has cited violations of visa terms or even alleged support for terrorism. Incidentally, Mahmoud is a green card holder and the first instance of a student who had a green card and has been held back for a political protest. Another student, Ranjani Srinivasan from India, had her visa revoked because of her involvement in similar protests at the Columbia University. She later self-deported to Canada before officers from DHS and ICE could reach her Columbia University apartment.
Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border.
The rationale provided by the Trump administration is that these students have advocated for violence or terrorism or have indulged in anti-Semitic comments on campus, which is seen as a misuse of student visas.
Hearing to consider the nomination, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that advocating for such activities should result in the revocation of visa privileges. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has indicated that more student visas will be revoked in the coming days. All of this is part of efforts to identify individuals who should not have been allowed entry into the U.S. in the first place. Rubio's comments follow the detention of Mahmoud Khalil and reflect the administration's intent to further scrutinize and even revoke visas of those students who are involved in activities that the administration deems as inappropriate.
And so in the days to come, you should expect more visas will be revoked as we identify people that we should never have allowed in because they lied to us. When they said they were coming here to be students, they didn't say they were coming here to occupy university buildings and vandalize them and tear them apart and have campuses hostage. If they had told us that, we would never have given them a student visa.
The proposed travel ban on citizens from 43 countries is a significant development, a significant step forward in Trump's immigration policy, reflecting his ongoing efforts to restrict entry into the United States. The categorization of countries into red, orange, and yellow lists allows for a three-tier approach to travel restrictions. Some countries have got outright bans, some others have conditional entries. The rationale behind this policy aligns with Trump's broader anti-immigration agenda. He emphasizes the need to protect the United States from both the threats of losing American jobs and the threats to America's national security. The recent actions against Columbia University students also highlight the Trump administration's willingness to push the envelope when it comes to stricter immigration policies, even in cases that involve political activism and not necessarily a direct terror charge or terror threat. As these hard immigration policies continue to evolve, they are likely to remain a contentious issue. Many of this could be challenged in courts of law, which could put stays, and there could be international pressure as well to go easy on this long list of countries who have restricted entry into the United States.